Thank you. Montana, so what part of California? Okay. Why am I here? Because I like to travel.
Вася, ты шо нахуй?
But I don't like fun.
3, 2, 1, Holy shit.
People say I like to travel, and they don't. They like to go to new places and meet new people. I don't like that. Do you like a 20-hour flight from Arizona? No, you hate that part. I love it. I take Xanax. I drink. I sleep like a kitten. You complain about the travel part. You want to go, oh, I want to see the cathedral. F the cathedral. I want to just get out. I was in Donbas. There is no better place to want to get the f out and travel. Then 11 hours on a train is beautiful. I want to run away from the murder. That's travel. Why are you here?
Oh, I train the military.
You train the military. There's your You should have trained us. Andy's not so good at those 152 caliber guns.
Сильнее.
He does a slow pull. Anyway, I only came up here just to say hi, just to say thank you. The comedians are the only friendly people in this whole dog shit fucking angry faced country. Hi, nice to meet you. Not even words, just and I understand you have every reason to be angry. But don't take it out on me. I don't sell airplanes and jet fighters. It's not my fault. American, US, why don't you give us bomb? I don't have one with me. I'll give you a Xanax. Thank you.
I think the most important thing about this trip is it was completely unsanctioned, unchaperoned, unfinanced.
Well, you financed
yes.
it.
Yeah, we didn't have a paid gig.
You didn't have any return on your investment.
No.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
the
think,
laughter of the soldiers on the front will stay with me forever, but it didn't pay anything.
Yeah, it wasn't a show. Andy made it a show.
Summoned a little Buster Keaton comedy or something.
Yeah, it was a lot of slapstick. There wasn't especially amongst the troops. There was not the comedians spoke.
The international languages is when you go butt, or you go oh, okay, I get what he's getting at. Even if you don't understand the words, you go okay, pounding.
I saw the first video you posted from there when you guys
At
were
the
all
comedy
partying.
club.
Yeah, and I commented. I was like, wow, that looks like fun. And I was a bit envious that I was not on this fun trip. And then you posted a video of you guys in the back of like a karaoke limo, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty happy I stayed home at this point.
Yeah, it was even funkier than that, though.
Yeah.
A karaoke limo sounds like Jimmy Fallon in Comfort.
This was a junker. I think at first stoplight we just stalled out completely.
Yeah, we stalled up
we're
the
gonna
hill,
have to
and
push.
it seemed unsure if the car would start, but the rapper never did. So we knew we were going to have somebody spitting rhymes. It's just a matter of if we're walking now. But everybody. I mean, there was a lot of people looking at it. It was a spectacle. The car driving around, and then it would hit something underneath.
Ka-chunk. The smallest thing. You ran over a can and you felt the bottom scraping pavement.
And it was spit. It had a smoke machine going. I got pushed in front because Doug was like, "Oh no!" and
The
shoved me.
claustrophobia. I went in first to be polite, and then as soon as you move towards the driver's seat, your head starts touching the ceiling.
Yeah,
No,
that-
I can't do
That
this.
whole video. If I would have had that whole thing to myself, I would have hated it.
Yeah, there really
that
wasn't
whole
a
video. I was like, oh, that's not even gonna be the worst thing you guys go through, and I'm already just cringing. Like,
Well, yeah,
home.
you
I'm so
made
glad
it
I'm
sound
home.
like it was a rental. This is some piece of shit they bought as a lark.
Yeah.
Kind of like the unvertible.
No, like a lark. It was like a Buick Skylark.
It was God damn it. It's
was
Old
it?
Cutlass.
Well, the front was an old Cutlass. We don't know what the back end was.
The middle could have been anything. And it was that was a good 25-minute drive,
At
which
least,
was probably
yeah.
a 15-minute drive.
No,
in
it
a
was longer
cab,
than
but
that.
20
I mean, how many songs were covered?
That's right. You sang. Even.
I sang, in the back of a limo. My foot caught. At one point, I was getting hot-footed by, I guess, the fog machine or something. Thought my foot was on fire, and it could have been. I don't know. I didn't investigate.
And that's the thing. This was Vasily Baydak. He's a comic. He's well known. In fact, at one point when we were fleeing a bombing, someone stopped him for a photograph. Like, really?
Yeah.
Now?
Nice.
We're trying to get in that train station. The fucking city's on fire, dude. So, yeah, that's the thing. And you were in the military, so I'm sure you were around shows where they brought in people. Because when I did shows for the military, there was no wars going on. It was, hey, supporting the troops wasn't a sticker yet. It wasn't a ribbon. It was just something you made money doing. They paid for everything, and you were greeted by some, Lance Corporal that's all waxed and proper, and he gives you the guided tour and shows you all the nicest parts of North Korea. You don't. This was Vasil set all this up through his own underground channels of whatever kind.
I would imagine from a troop's perspective, those USO shows are really, nobody wants to go to that. You're kind of forced to go to that. You don't want to. But like a guerrilla just showing up, comedians would be fantastic.
Well, we ended up not even doing shows at the front and that's where Bingo made up these. I saved a few. She made up 200 little cards. We should show them.
Green one. I can open it.
Yes.
You get that one.
I will open it now.
Okay.
Wow! What? Jesus Christ!
What does it say to you?
It say to me the distance can't be problem for us to sharing with laughing and laugh and keeping safe with love bingo. Thank you very much. This
Yay! Okay, I got it right.
and this is your this is amazing.
It had different pictures of voluptuous ladies, fat women, friends, like two
paintings.
women, paintings of like two women doing fun friendship things.
Yeah.
Вася, гадай, що мені попалось?
There's more in there.
I think you have to open it one more.
And I have the same.
This is the same.
But, yeah, but it's
More in there.
There's a little map, and inside дружба здалеку. Friendly ship. Far from friendly ship. I don't know how it's.
It said friendship from afar.
Which actually
And
the
I
translation
know.
turned out to be wrong.
I know,
Like you're far from friendship.
I know. Whoops. Whoops. But I
You're
know.
far from my friend.
Whoops.
That's just propaganda. They were
And then,
supposed to drop that to the enemy.
They're all
There was a feather in each one, and there was.
It would have been like going to a Hell's Angels rally while they're fighting against I forget, the Mongols. And then by the way, this is from my wife. And there's only 4 of you.
They were cool.
They were cool. They were very cool, and the guys were cool. We showed up. I guess
Early in the morning in Poland, right?
yeah. It was. We did the math, and I think just actual movement traveling was 100 hours, and that's with all the. I guess we should have planned on. That's seating.
The hand guy.
Yeah, I don't, I
It's
don't
like a
mind.
cigarette. You don't know. Well, never.
And we flew to L.A. and got to go into the Sky Club for a minute, and then we had the 10-hour flight, 10.5 hours to Amsterdam, and Andy's pretty lubed up right off the bat, and
I was vacationing.
we're on the it was like 3 seats, 4 seats, 3 seats. Unless you're in the very back, then you get 2 seats, 3 seats, 2 seats, and I'm like, that's what we want, because no one wants to have a middle seat. No one has to worry about crawling over strangers to go take a piss. So we're on the left-hand side. So Andy sees it's going to be faster to run down the right-hand side and get in quicker.
I don't
but-
like to be stuck behind slow people.
Yeah, but he does it in a very Andy manner so immediately we're red flagged as drunkards.
Yeah.
And KLM Airlines, and I don't know how this went under my radar, except maybe I should fly coach more, is they stopped serving liquor, only beer and wine. So thank God we were a little lubed up, because as soon as I mentioned a drink to the flight attendant, she's like, don't drink too much. You can't drink too much. The good thing is we did have Xanax, so we did sleep most of that flight. I had it was the only time I've flown internationally sober, like 2 glasses of wine in 10 hours. Because
God, that sounds horrible.
it was, you would
Yeah.
wait till you.
If you were
We
at all
kept
on,
saying either you or Bingo. Can you imagine Bingo now? Can you imagine Chad now? Can you imagine Chad on a? Because we had the option of the train in.
It's just mental illness doesn't pay off.
Yeah, I know.
We got a driver. They recommended a driver. It was actually 2 drivers, because it turned out to be 13 hours driving from Warsaw, Poland to Kyiv, the capital. We had to switch drivers at the border. We went through the border. They said it could be up to 3 hours wait. You never know. And we're going through. I'm facing backwards. It's one of those vans that has 2 seats backwards, 3 forwards. So I got the backwards facing seat.
How did you describe our driver on the first leg to the second driver?
His head like a giant meat cabbage?
No, but you said, I think I did. I was in prison. I think I was in prison with him, you said.
Oh, that was just setting up plans on the WhatsApp, and he sent a picture of our driver so we'd recognize him at the hotel. And I go, oh, I think I was in prison with him. And he said, you did time? Like the guy who set it up, Vlad, he spoke very good English. Our driver for the first leg, not so much.
No
Thankfully.
music, right?
No music.
No
it
music.
was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
No words.
Anything that happened on the road that might have been stressful or something, he did like on his bald head, he'd rub like above his eyebrow, just kind of like he was drawing a line across it. I saw him do it like 5 or 6 times, so I knew it was a
He
tick.
didn't try to talk to you.
But that
guys
was
at
the
all.
only human
Yeah.
emotion he showed was he would do this.
And it was Poland, and it was it was beautiful. It was like Wisconsin, and it's fall, so there's some color, some foliage, and I was just jazzed the whole time.
Yeah, it was
And then we
exciting.
got to the border, and now we're getting stressed, and we're gonna have to get out. They're gonna search our shit. Am I gonna have to
You
explain
can
what
definitely tell you're
Xanax
going
is?
through a serious border too there.
Yeah, that's the guns are out, and all they did was he talked to him, gave him all our passports. They looked in the trunk real quick. And he must have told them that we're famous or something, because they go. And then we drove into Ukraine and then switched drivers with Vlad. And Vlad was
He started off with playing Frank Sinatra, Bingo's favorite.
Oh man, I was so
Yeah.
thankful I wasn't there at that point.
Yeah.
you like this, huh? You like this? Yeah.
I would have died.
Yeah, Doug gave him he told him the ear bit, or
Music is.
and then he seemed to be everything he would play, he was nervous about it being criticized, and it was like a very nervous DJ at that point. But
I gotta get home. Do you have snacks? Because he told me ahead of time, I will stop for dinner, right? You'll pay for my dinner. We sit down. And at that point, he's like, I got to get home. We're late. We're very late.
I have cat and dog. Must be home.
There's a lot of cat and dogs on the trip.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
So we got in really late. We're staying at a Holiday Inn.
So you asked Vlad about our first driver. You described him as like he looked like a knee breaker.
Yeah. He goes, you did time? I go, no, he just looks like I didn't say Russian mob because he go, oh, yeah, don't say Russian. That's very offensive. That's like the N word over here. That's the new R word over there. You can call him all day. So I said, yeah, he looked like a mob, a knee breaker for the mob. He goes, yes, but he's a very nice man. Turns out he was a torturer.
Torturer for the Ukrainian police. Back in the day when a cop could be a cop.
You were a very good judge of character then. You were absolutely spot on.
100%. No music, no human emotion about, he just drove and didn't, try to engage us in conversation with the awkward language barrier.
Yeah,
How bad do you think he wanted to kill Andy?
No, we were pretty calm.
Yeah, pretty quiet.
We get picked up at 9 a.m. after 20 some hours of travel, so we were calm. I don't even know if we ate breakfast there. I still don't know. But,
yeah, it was up in that lounge.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and Vlad seemed like the guy that I could get you anything, little girl. I'm not saying he was that guy. He just seemed like that kind of guy. He did not like every other. What you would think of,
Well, what was the other music choices, like from Frank Sinatra? I mean,
I think we did get him to finally play. Oh, yeah, we got him to play Marilyn Manson. He says, I don't like Marilyn Manson. And I go, how about if we get an intro to just this one song live? And I called Manson, and Manson never answers my calls. But when he knows it's important somehow, like when we called him with the donuts at Johnny Depp's house, and he was there at 5 o'clock traffic in a flash with Krispy Kremes and a bag of blow. Yeah, he answered the phone, and I go, yeah, he says he doesn't like you, but can you just tell him what my favorite song is so we'll play it? And he said Killing Strangers, and the guy put it on.
Vlad, here's Manson.
You see?
Yes, that's Manson.
Okay, tell him hello.
You're telling him hello.
Yeah, I don't like your music, so sorry.
Can you tell him my favorite? Can you play one song? Manson will tell you my favorite song of his.
Killing strangers.
Killing Strangers.
So, okay, I'll find it.
You will find it.
Might have just got a new fan.
Maybe I'll
Yes. Yeah, and we're gonna
just need to convince me.
exactly. I love you very much, and I miss you. And
Love you too, man. I miss you, man. Stay safe out there.
all right, love you. Bye. I said, so is it better when you get the live introduction from the artist? I still don't like Marilyn Manson. And I don't think it was because of the Me Too stuff. No. Yes, I started smoking a little bit. This is weird. I saw on Instagram, Mark Maron posted a small clip of him talking to Tom Papa. And there's a pack of Marlboro Lights in front of him. They were like out somewhere. And I'm like, did Mark Maron start smoking again? Because that would be breaking news. I guess. So I started smoking, but they will not go back to Bisbee. And I got American Spirits because I was smoking these Polish gunpowder sticks of called Lucky Strikes, but probably without any kind of licensing.
Yeah, I've seen, you take drags or borrow or one like in Vegas here and there. This was like, you went from, let me have that, buy a couple of cigarettes. We're at the airport.
Oh, it started in LAX because
yeah, LAX.
We're at the Tom Bradley.
You didn't even have the war to follow here. I've been thinking it was the war that drove you to smoke
LAX?
cigarettes.
Have you been to LAX?
You broke down at LAX.
LAX is not easy these days. But yeah,
It's
so
a 20-minute walk from the Sky Club. I'm like, you'd think you would give me some warning about a 20-minute walk, and I go, wait, Tom Bradley has that weird secret balcony you can smoke at. And I went in, I bummed one, and the guy goes, I'm leaving anyway. Here, take the whole pack. Lucky Strike foreign. So yeah,
I was weed. I didn't bring any weed on that leg of the trip. I guess we were out of our stash at that point, and I go, I didn't know about that smoking lounge either, but I know about stashing weed or getting rid of some joints before flying.
So I
going
through the
planter
bushes.
boxes and bushes and found 3 joints.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you found some.
Yeah.
I didn't know that till later. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know till later.
Yeah, well,
like
you know
when
how
you're trying to shoot down drones, but
yeah. In comedy clubs, there's always when you'd stay in
Comedy
a condo,
condos.
you'd reach above the cabinets, and comics that had a fly out and had blow or weed would leave it, and it's like a reflex to go search those areas. But it was like, I'm out of weed, what a bummer. And then I was like, I can do something about this.
When I always smoke like where the service people smoke cigarettes or whatever, like when we go to Las Vegas when you used to have to hide it in Las Vegas, but I always leave a half one like nearby, hoping somebody will find it. So I love it when Andy tells stories about finding it.
Me and Alex smoked the last joint, and he had to take off because this lady getting ready to go get on an Uber, and we're in a discreet area by a sign, Tucson or whatever airport,
Welcome to Tucson Airport.
Yeah, welcome to Tucson Airport sign, but she's walking by. She's walking by and she smells it and goes, "Really?" And she makes some and then I don't think. Oh, I called her, I guess, but mind your business or whatever. And
but he mumbled it. So
but I was,
like always.
Profile.
Yeah, well,
I was
you can't
thinking,
understand him.
I would think on the way back from our trip, if that same situation, I think I would have gotten the Uber with her and made her shut her mouth. Mind your business.
So yeah, we get in very late. It's probably 11 o'clock at night. The bar had just closed and didn't care, but we had our stores. So
you could buy wine at the reception. I know we.
Yeah.
That's right. 2 or 3 bottles.
Vasily, the comedian, showed up with his buddy Kid Rock. I still don't know how to pronounce his name, but Krak. Yeah, Kid Rock.
Yeah, he was.
Do you know how to say it?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You know? Okay.
Have you been talking to him behind our backs?
Bingo.
How you say? It was so physically taxing to listen to this Kid Rock guy because he had enough English. Most of his English was, how do you say, or what's the word for?
Slava and his friends.
Yes.
Friend?
This is my and my friend's car. We buy it on the site with some old and crash stuff. This is American car, but people in Ukraine very
Today? Not yet. I only have a tiny amount.
He had the big bulging eyes and very intense. How do you say you? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I hung out with him probably more than anybody.
Well, because he had the weed.
I already knew that.
Kid Rock had the weed.
Yeah. You have stores here, and he eventually explained it was a black market, and he gives it to you like, how black a market was it? Because it was like dime bags back in the day, or it was like a gram that looks like it was carried across the border in somebody's working boot.
That's probably exactly what happened.
I know.
So they let us sleep in, thank God, that first night. I got him a hotel there, room, because there's curfew.
Yeah, like not like your folks tell you to be in at a certain time. Like you get taken down or bombed if you're outdoors.
So So the second night I told him at first, hey, you're our tour guide. You're our general. All of our, whatever you want us to do, we're going. You don't know about. Rather than try to fight the language barrier, let's just say okay. So we went to the show. He had set up a show. He had called every comic in Ukraine that, half of them are on the front lines anyway, because if you're old enough to tell jokes, you should be killing Russians. So he got, and he didn't tell him why, just told him it was very important to be at the show. And he had, then he introduces this duo, female singing duo, who are huge from Eurovision. They were finalists in Europe's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Jerry Hall, I call her Hal. Her name is unfortunately spelled Heil, Heil Hitler, and Ileona, and they're two lovely ladies. So he introduces them like that's the reason he brought them out. He got this singing duo, and they went out and sang their hit song that's all the rage across Ukraine. And then they brought me up, right?
Yeah, I think they announced you.
Yeah. I was in the green room hidden the whole time, and then ta-da, and then there's the big surprise.
Зустрічайте, Stanhope!
I am only here because of the comedians. I know there's supposed to be a war. I haven't seen it. But they did a story in the New York Times. She said every comedian I talked to said that you are an influence. So my ego. I am not here to do comedy. I'm here for President Zelensky to recruit you into the army. How dare you sit here and laugh? We have orcs to kill in the Donbas. Now get on your body armor and let's get the f*** out of here.
And so I said a few dumb things, and everyone.
But the audience went ape.
They did.
I watched the video. It was crazy.
I have very little recollection of this evening because I drank vodka pretty hard before going.
Oh, and then
and
the
then I
cherry
was
wine.
introduced to cherry wine.
Very specific drink. Drunk вишня, как будет вишня, drunk cherry. That's name drunk cherry.
Drunk cherry?
Okay.
And it went down so fine.
It was. It tasted like cherry flavored Sunny D. That's just.
Oh my God.
That sounds horrible.
It was hard.
Thank you. Yep.
So Andy's drunk on cherry wine, and then I did some old bit. That bit because it's about the comedian that was a virgin, and his whole act was horrible about being a 25-year-old virgin, and then I paid a girl to f him just to ruin his act, and that's why I never work with it was new comic related. I go, this is the closest thing. I don't have anything about the war. I have no experience yet, so, and I did that one bit, and then went outside and took a lot of pictures, and said thank you a lot. And Manishkada is how you say sorry. I learned how to say hello, privit, and Manishkada. That's all I know is privit. Sorry.
I don't know.
But everyone was fucking cool.
Did a lot of people speak English, or was it really
very,
did you really
very?
feel
It was rare to hear. It was rare to hear. Very good English.
Yeah.
Like mine.
That part alone would be weird to me.
Yeah, when language is your only skill, I have nothing else but telling jokes, and when that's gone, then it's just another picture. The two open mics we went to were like meet and greets in a circle, where the the last person shows up again. One more picture for my friend at the front.
Or something else, yeah. I worked the meet and greet the second night, but it was like, a 2-room party with like 30 to 60 people you don't know, and then they just keep, you bounce into them again, and then they have something add on to what they said. There's a few in that group that spoke English. There was a guy who came in and had a heavy-handed handshake that was passed on to me with weed and papers. But man,
that was an American guy that you go, oh, this is why we have a bad reputation. he looked like
comic book guy?
Yeah, he looked like the comic book guy from The Simpsons. He looked like if Chad Shank weren't a badass. If you were just a complete nerd and twice the weight.
And he was limp, had a cane, so
that's probably where he hides his weed.
Yeah.
Because Kid Rock hid it in his hood.
They go, you need more weed. Yes, because that was like a gram, dude. And it was a full 3 days ago, and we went to the front. But he goes, and he pulls it. He gives me, first off, he presents me with a bottle of cherry wine, which I was like, oh, I was going to try to stay sober tonight or whatever, but which went in a bag. And then later he goes, can I give he's an Indian giver of cherry wine.
Because he got bottle and then
he's got cups.
You didn't drink that. Get that out of your bag, faggot.
I definitely drank some of it, but he poured it, and I go, hey, did he get? He had 2 bottles of cherry wine? He goes, no, he took it back. He goes, it's a gift, but I'm just giving you a cup. But you go ahead and anyway. So I forget. Oh, but yeah.
It all closed down early. We went to that open mic.
He pulled the weed out of his hood, though. Yeah. It was just like, it's like, and he pulls it out.
Like it was like the worst magic trick that your 5-year-old is attempting for the first time.
Yeah.
Because Andy,
they never look here.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't say. Andy was the one. Oh, by the way, do you have any more weed? And he goes, I don't. And he tried to do this. I don't.
You know who he reminded me of
a
little bit? It was if he could be me. He's Ukrainian meat. He's hard to understand. He mumbles, says, you're like, all right, let's get the out of here. Over dramatic, smokes weed.
So that closed. Not only did it close down, but we had to catch the midnight train, not the midnight train, the night train.
On the road.
What do you got?
Oh, bunny rabbit on the road.
There's a kitten over there earlier.
Once you've been to a war zone, you have eyes in the back of your head. You're like, oh, is that a Rusky? No, that's just a Peter Rabbit. But it's good to get the gun up and shoot it anyway.
I'm going to be like Andy. We're going to be wedging Ukrainian war into every conversation now.
You know what else sucks about Putin?
So we go to, we do the open mic, the surprise, ta-da, and then we have to catch the night train to Donbas. Donbas and Kharkiv are where the major front lines are. And that's overnight. And there's 4 of us, and the sleeping cars, there's no dining car. It's not like Amtrak where there's a bar and dinner or a snack bar. It's here's your 4 bunks. And Vasily, turns out he's in a separate car. So it's me and him and him. And it's just like prison as far as I'm concerned, because you don't know who. I guess they were assigned beds, but Vasily wasn't with us. A wounded veteran. Oh, that was the guy with the meat cabbage head.
Meat cabbage head.
Angry with a weeping war wound on his knee.
You know those brown wraps? There was an orange spot soaking through the brown Ace Band-Aid.
And see, I would have turned around at that point. At least. I've been waiting to see where.
I'll tell you where I decided. It was the next morning where I had to decide if I would walk home from hundreds of miles away. It's a night train, so we pass out the Xanax, hit the whiskey flask a few times, and let's all just lay down so this guy can sleep. And we didn't want to get out. The toilet made that train spotting toilet look like a.
Yeah, and there was a suction. So you take it, and it would.
You shit it?
No, I didn't, but I know that's what happened.
Oh.
Though they just dump it on the tracks. So when the train stops, they lock the toilet.
It.
So you can't go in there because you'd be shitting at the station.
And even Andy has lines.
Yeah. No, my ass froze up when I saw that. And
Alex didn't or piss, I don't think, on any train ride. Even the 15-hour one back.
Yeah, that's
So
a
this
podcast.
was 11 hours.
That's a podcast we'll revisit.
Yeah, no kidding.
I got a.
That sounds like a documentary.
Yeah, but we had to. So bottom bunk Cabbage Head. He's taking up a lot of space with his sore leg that we had to kind of maneuver around. Because we had.
At one point, I saw something fall. I'm laying on the bottom bunk because I have bad records of top bunks falling out. So Alex's squoze in. What are you, 6'5", 6'4", and the bunk's probably 6?
No, 5'10", 5'11" at best. Is that a thing? 5'11"?
5'11" with bad posture.
9'11", yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't move, but I saw something fall, and the guy reached out to grab, and I'm like, oh, God. I was just so afraid of, waking up quickly and kicking his knee because he was already not amused with us.
Yeah, another guy with very little. He was watching, there's a video where you could hear women screaming, and it was like, what the is this guy watching, and no emotion. And then later you could tell something was funny he was watching.
No, it was like someone laughing hysterically, where if you just watched whatever it was, if you just listened to it, you'd start laughing because it's contagious.
Yeah, it's like,
and
make
this
me
guy
laugh.
is looking at it like the person laughing is standing over his dead child.
He's staring at it like it's the 400th night in a row of potato dinner. So yeah, not a lot from him. And
so we get off the train
in Doom, yeah,
Donbas.
I mean,
it's a town. It's a, I'm not even gonna. Donbas is a region, and the town. I don't know if we landed. There was one town that I think that's where we had croissants that sounded like crematorium, with something Polish or something Slavic at the end, like crematorisk.
Kiev had a feel of like a woman with a nervous laughter or something, but when you got to Donbas, it was a full-on. She'd been hit a few times, and everybody's walking with purpose. There's there's a lot of old women pushing bikes with flat tires. Like, where's the bike?
Cover that's
the Russians
Led Zeppelin album.
Yeah. That's what it looked like, and you could just it was a nervous edge too. As soon as you got off the train there, and it was about kind of getting with how do we and that's where
we were immediately met at the train station by troops that our friend Vaseline seemed to know personally, and he's all handshakes, but we forget he's famous.
Yeah, now he's really famous because he's got a cool watch.
So you were just having to interpret everything.
Yeah, we did rely on him for almost every communication.
From that point on, with these
the soldiers there. I rode with two guys, and one of them spoke enough English to ask questions and not understand. So
the answers.
A real game. It was a game, and then. They gave me. He goes, you want energy drinks? All right, and I sucked down two of them. They were beers. So
I guess
later, they were
'cause
pranking me. They had fun. They were making fun of my shoes. I was wearing white running shoes to the front, which is they don't
was
tell
still
you
in
this
my
in
tuxedo.
the magazine. They're it's a lot of the war zones are in muck.
And they did. They took us to a croissant shop so we could get a breakfast sandwich, and. I tried to make a joke. One of the guys, the fucking badass, he was the commander. He was missing a finger.
He was in it from the beginning.
Yeah, the Mariupol.
Defending his neighbors in Mariupol.
I think we're mispronouncing that, so
Yeah.
I'll apologize. Huh? There's one Mariupol. There's one syllable I'm missing, but that's a place that no one laughs about. That got decimated, and that was their hometown. This brigade And like he has one of those stories where he was supposed to be on the other helicopter, but they moved him, and all his friends got killed in the one he was supposed to be on. So he wore that on his face. He was.
And he was the driver, and he drove like it.
This is where I was debating, could I walk home? Because my fear, even with Chaley driving or someone who's not braking quick enough at an intersection, and I think that we're going to go through it, my mother would do the same thing, hit the imaginary brakes, and did we forget a part? We must have forgot the auction.
Well, you forgot about just describe his driving from A to B. So as we separated,
it's important because we must have said we were there a night after open mic because the second night we did a gala event, high dollar thing.
Stanhope? Say it again. Say it again for them.
All I got. They do all these shows to raise money for the troops, which is really f***ed up when you think about it from our perspective, where that's just a given.
We're
you
getting
have
a grenade
money.
so G.I. Joe can hunk it at a family. You're like, all right, let's raise some, there's a lot of families over there that just getting away with it.
So I brought Mother's ashes and an ashtray to auction off. And I thought that would be oh my God, they were aghast at the idea.
Yeah.
Today we have very exclusive option for the auction.
Very.
Doc, please, can you tell me what you have for this auction?
So this is an ashtray with Mother's ashes inside. My actual mother's ashes.
And your mother had a dream to be in Ukraine.
Unfortunately, it turns out it's very illegal in my country to sell dead people.
But in Ukraine... 4501, 4502, 4503, 4504, 4504 з половиною, 1000 гривень 3, 12 тисяч гривень 4, 12 тисяч гривень 4 з половиною, 12 тисяч гривень.
Anna, take good care of Mother.
Продано Анні! Oh yeah!
See, yes? She's not dressed. Keep it coming.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you very much, Anna.
And Doc Stanhope.
That followed our limousine night.
And Vasil's idea was to save half of Mother's ashes. So now we're having croissants at breakfast. I go out to smoke. I pull a cigarette out at the table to go out to smoke, and all four of these SEAL Team 6 guys, like I'm pulling out a gun or something. I'm going outside. Okay.
I don't know, because they didn't react at all when you pull out a gun around them. They do. But.
Yeah. Then we go outside, and now the prison jokes start, where the fat one, we were deciding which one would die first if this was a war movie, and that guy would have been it. And he's the one. How do you say? Vasil looks up. Captivity. I'm like, prison? He goes, yeah. Boom, boom. He's saying how he would rape me in prison.
I think they said P. Diddy.
Wow. Okay. Now we found the level of the room.
Yeah.
We start driving, and they explain to us, hey, we're going to go do this, do this, do this. And we're driving through this small city town. It's more of a town.
A lot of bombing.
It's a Sierra Vista without the stores. Okay. But doing looking, I don't know what 160 kilometers, it turns out it's about 100 miles per hour through small streets with dogs and cats and children and bicycles.
Dogs are stray. There's like dog packs. It ain't a great zone for the dog.
I mean, someone was trying to merge, and if they acted like they're laying on the horn, the guy pulled out his gun and like,
нахуй сосня, блядь. Вася, ты шо нахуй?
I feel like I might have stayed if I would have went with you.
Oh
guys.
yeah.
I like it here.
They
It's all right.
It was like being. I was in the second vehicle and they were just keeping up, so it was a little more sane they had like dance like Taylor Swift music, Britney Spears, just danceable. Chicks in the other cards, death metal and rage.
It was, Skin Hate was one of the bands they were playing. We looked it up. They're not.
Not what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's kind of like Black Pussy. Our friends. That's not what it's.
But all the time, the music blaring in that, because I got to write in it later, but blaring music and this guy driving like it's a video game. You can't believe some of the shit you're seeing, and I'm in the vehicle following him, going, "Holy f***, are you kidding me?" What's the word for you don't like black people?
So there's four of us. So at first it's me and Alex are in the death vehicle because he's going to get the footage, and he's with Vasil so they can translate. But no, I was with the commander, Mr. Fucking Missing Finger from Maripol.
You got straight.
Let's just call him the Bachelor, because you'll never know if he's married or not, because he's missing his left ring finger.
You talk about paranoid in a zone, though. It's like the only person I know there is Doug and Alec, and then Vasio, and then Kid Rock, and then I'm in a car.
He just mispronounced almost everyone's name except for mine. He even called Alex Alec right there.
That.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just.
It made me wonder I was like, have I been saying it wrong all this? No, I'm pretty sure that's Alec.
I had it in my phone.
I have to reevaluate it.
When I learned it as Alec, because I put it in my phone that way, and then I since have gone back and corrected it, but I trying to do better on that. You know how you go through like a long ass, like you're somewhere and there's construction going on and the road's chewed up here and half of it's there and there's situation that there's like those iron crosses
the
and
tank
roads
stoppers.
bombed. You can tell where the road's been not a sinkhole, it's been bombed. So there's different things, and this guy's weaving through it like. And not even putting on the brakes until he'd have to lock him up.
And there are bombs. You can hear explosions just off in the distance, like monsoon season.
Hopefully.
And thunder. And,
when you're lucky, it's off in the distance.
And they don't show fear. But at some point, very early on, the commander, the Bachelor, decides they tried to talk to us in their own language. And we're, hello? Привет, Manishkada? Hello? So they stop, they pull over,
Yeah,
Vasil
that's where
has to come with us.
That's
They
where
need
all of
an
a sudden
interpreter.
they pull Vasio. Vasio's pulled out of my car, and then now I'm alone with two guys.
But one of your guys spoke a little bit of English.
Not for
He
a
was
while.
cool.
He's the gypsy. He said he was a gypsy and he would steal everything.
Well, maybe he was the Andy Andrews.
I know.
So now I'm in the. We're in like it's not a. This isn't a military vehicle. No, there are I'm in a.
There are no more military vehicles. Is that what you're gonna say?
There are.
Well, there are, but not that can do 160 kilometers an hour through a city and dodge dogs and old women. So I'm up in the hump of the back seat, and I'm like crushed in the middle because I'm the small girl, and so I have the straight-on view of the video game, and we're loaded with heavy jackets, and I can't even get the middle seat belt on. So I'm just looking at a windshield that I'm gonna go through. My biggest. I can't even move my feet to stomp the imaginary brakes, and I don't know if I ever grabbed onto you and I was grabbing onto the seats, but that's when I thought maybe I could walk because I don't know if, and that's when they go, do you want beer? Which is illegal in Donbas. So hopefully you're not getting ratted out. They said beer is alcohol's more illegal than like cocaine would
you
be.
You were drinking from the same stash as I was. I didn't read beer on. I said he told me it was an energy drink. I didn't think I could make out the words, so I never.
Yeah,
bothered.
they were giving Alex the orange cans like you, and they were giving me the green cans, which, all right, this is Tuborg was the first one. It was nice and cold, so I think they had planned on that for themselves, but they gave it to me like gentlemen. And then everyone after that was hot as but I drank them until, and it was never not scary until we got
I remember.
our first stop.
I forget I mean, there's so many scary situations you're witnessing. Like you said, we're fucking alert when we're in those cars at our most heightened sense of awareness we've been in a decade, and I go
and morning after an all-night train with very broken sleep with the injured guy, and now
now we're on the driving. Like I said to after one, and we hit the brakes, and I go, well, that guy must not be with Progressive. And he goes, what? Who's Progressive? And then he starts talking about politics, and I go, never mind, the wrong audience.
I made the joke at the croissant stand that Vasil translated, and I said that everyone tried to calm us by saying that Ukraine is less dangerous. You're more likely to get killed in a car accident than by a bomb. And I said they must know my driver, and he translated it to nothing. Like now he's gonna do. This is like when you tell someone, like if I get on the back of your motorcycle and I go, hey, I'm really scared of these things, so drive real nice, and you go, oh, you're scared of these, huh?
Yeah.
And now it's on. Now it's
Yeah, I was holding back before, mother.
Yeah, it's like you're on. It's like you're on a knee board, and your buddy's on the throttle in the boat.
So our first stop is at the artillery range, and this is what Vasil's plan was. I'm going to pour Mother's ashes into a 152 caliber shell, and
missile.
I think it's a shell. No, I think
artillery round.
Artillery
but
round.
A big one.
Yeah, it's a big bada boom. I'll show you a picture. Actually, this will be interspliced with pictures, video of. Yeah. So I go. They go. You need to sign. So I signed Mother's final ride on the shell as it's loaded into the gun.
I got your back, Chad.
That's cool.
He's getting an ashtray.
Okay.
That's to pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I gingerly walk out. We're out in a field with the netting.
We just go up these roads, and then that wasn't our first stop. Our first stop was at bomb damage. Before, so we went to a bombed ass, sad ass. It
was a church or a school. So when we walked through, just absolutely decimated. What you'd picture World War II.
Explosions had wiped out everything, but there was a swinger.
An edifice of a building.
And a wall. And Doug or somebody says.
Vasil says, "Oh, because Andy, I'm doing broken." You start speaking in broken English. Andy, there's a cat. You want to take care of the cat? Because they'd already bonded over their love of cats. And I'm like, oh, it was the most beautiful Siamese cat.
Yeah.
Darling, not.
I think it was a dude. He wasn't feral. Or at least, I guess maybe if you're in a war zone and bombs are going off, you can't afford to be that feral. You're like, I'm going to put trust in you just so I can see if you'll help me get the out of here.
And I go, oh, Andy will take that cat in a second. And then I went, oh, I have tuna.
Yeah,
and then I ran
so
back,
Doug goes for
and
the
I got
tuna.
some of Big Go's pouches of tuna. Maybe your cards didn't go as far as they could go, but tuna. A dog came up, this just so matted like Meatwig gets. This matted dog and this cat.
I climbed up a wall, a brick wall that was left in the rubble, and got up to the cat, and he came up to me, and then I go, hold on, my buddy Doug, he's a famous comedian in America, but I know you don't know who he is out here, but we're doing a meet and greet and an artillery in about 20 minutes, and this is just a chill out time, and I think Vasio wanted us to get the sickness of what happened there.
They've already unloaded all of their fucking guns and rounds, and all the bullets and all their shit was on top of my bag. So I'm like, I don't want to accidentally nudge something and set off a Kalashnikov while I'm trying to get tuna packets for a kitten and a dog.
Oh man,
But the cat got the ranch flavor, and the dog had to settle for sweet and spicy, and he probably has the to this
the
day.
cat came up to where I was on the wall and ate the food, and you know, and I was like, hey man, and I got to touch it a few times, and then I felt like I should just grab it and put it in my jacket and throw f***ing fate to the wind like I've already done on this trip, and take this out of that zone, and then the wall started crumbling like a Mellencamp or Cougar song, I guess. I decided not to grab it, but that wall was making that sound that you better get the fuck away or you might be under brick. So
The dog
best
was
of luck
shaking
to him.
so badly, and I teared up, and I'm like, oh, we can't do that with these guys.
Yeah, that's where you kind of, I mean, you know, we weren't there long, but you have to put some things aside, like seeing the suffering of dogs alone had me crying a time or two, and seeing that cat and thinking, well, maybe I should have scooped it up there, but then what would I do about it, you know? But it's like you feel a sense of helplessness.
Yeah, that cat was probably running out of kids to eat that had been smashed,
but you have to, you kind of have to scratch away at your human, you know, shields and stuff, and going, I can't help here, and you know, and I got to stay focused.
Gotta be a helpless feeling,
yeah,
though, I would imagine. That's horrible.
Hey, Dollar Tree tuna is the best we can do, but they got it.
Yeah, and so
then they go, oh, okay, we're going to the artillery range, and
I don't know any of this. I'm just following along. Nobody's communicating, telling me what we're up to. We just go down fucking roads, and you get out and you follow. And then I went down the path with these guys, and when the soldiers, they do a handshake, half arm acknowledgement of each person, and as you go by, and you just keep walking. It's like you're on the most serious ass hike of your life, and you don't know where you're going, and so we end up near this piece of equipment.
Yeah, someone said it must be Russian if it's 152 calibers. That's all we know.
Next, remember in Stripes at the end, it's like Guns and Ammo magazine. Doug Stanhope speaks about the Russians are but yeah.
So they say we're going to fire at the Russians, and then we're going to have to run because they can find
you are.
Yeah. So I'm ready to run.
Incoming. Get under the table.
Shoot it like it's a drone.
Whoa, man. Yo, gangsters.